Hello there, my glow friends. This is Natasha. I am so happy to be here with you today. I'm really working hard at getting back to my routines and navigating this new chapter, and then also navigating all of these feelings and emotions I did not anticipate in this journey, in this part of it. I have always said I wanted this to be a platform where I was really honest and really vulnerable about my experience. And that's what this is. This is my experience. These are my stories. And, I've always wanted to share with the intent that like something was in there, like some kind of hope that, when like right now, when I feel really broken and I feel really sad. Not that I feel good seeing somebody else that way, but I don't feel alone. And right now, it's tough, right? So it's been almost a full week since Chris hasn't lived here anymore. It's been a full week since I found out he had a girlfriend, and then broke up with the girlfriend broke up with him, and then from like telling me I was nothing and he hated me, and I just didn't understand that. Like, after 25 years, what did I do so bad to make you hate me? Like, all I said all along was I wanted a friend, I wanted a partner. Like, I didn't want to do this life alone. And I get it. From his perspective, I was his friend, and so he didn't understand why I was putting him in the friend zone, but it was just what I needed to feel trusted and like to feel like we weren't at war, because it just had always felt like it was just not in harmony. And so, then why am I crying? Why am I sad about this? I don't know. But there's so many things, like, the images that pop up, because again, I thought I was going to be married forever. I thought, we had talked about it. Like, I never want to get a divorce. I don't want to put my kids through that. I don't want to go through that. And I thought that, like, by disclosing that, and like that, it would have him want to fight for me, but also me want to fight for him. Like, I thought that would be enough motivation. And he had agreed. Like, he didn't want to get a divorce either. But then so early on in the marriage, when there was this infidelity, like, it just broke the trust. It like broke my heart. It broke my spirit. I felt really confused and unsure. And as it was, I was already confused because, here I was married to somebody I didn't know and was working really hard to get to know in this really hectic situation. We have a kid that's born early, a kid that needs heart surgery. Like, he's sick, he dies in front of me, he comes back to life. Like, my family has now withdrawn, like, I'm not with my friends all the time like I was. I'm not taking this trip that I was going to take. Like, my life had changed so much, and all I could do was cling on to my son and this new relationship. And it was everything. It was my entire world. And their well-being became my sole mission in life. And then fairly quickly after that, I got pregnant with my daughter. Like, as soon as like life kind of got a little bit normal with our son, and I was pregnant again, and it was a really high risk, dangerous pregnancy. And I was on bed rest, and I was already in labor at 23 weeks, like, plus having a toddler and 9/11 and dealing with still the separation between me and my family and me and my friends, and what it was that I thought being a good mom was and a good wife was, and then having to deal with this new stress that, there was this paternity case to see if Chris was the father of another kid, and all these things. It was just constant stress in this relationship. And but there were also good times, right? Like, it's the holidays, and I think about like times that we'd go out and do the decorations together, and you know, going out shopping to buy like new decorations. And, you know, there were times where we were together, and for better or worse, like, we built this house together, and now, like, it's different, and it's just really sad. Like, I feel really sad, and I don't want to feel sad, and I don't want to come in here and cry, but I also want to use this platform to let somebody else who's going through some kind of a separation or some kind of a loss, like, you're not alone. Like, I know that this is a part of the journey. It's not necessarily a part we like, right? So in previous days in life, you know, maybe when I was younger, I would have drank this pain away, or I would have ate it away, or screamed it away, or just forced myself not to cry. And now I'm trying to just be in the phase of life where I embrace and honor whatever I'm at. And it's in hopes to, like, heal, and in hopes that, like, you know that you're not alone if you ever feel this way. And it's really hard, right? Because when you think about, like, divorce, like, you just think about, like, almost hatred, right? Like, and I feel sad. I feel sad. Like, I feel sad thinking about, like, I think he got his apartment today, but he hasn't moved in yet. I don't think he moves in for a couple days or something like this. But it makes me sad thinking that he no longer goes home to his family. That makes me really sad. Like, for him, especially a person like me, I'm a little bit more independent, but that would destroy me. And so I can only imagine what his experience is. And, you know, he hasn't seen some of the kids in a week. He is still taking Tyler to school. You know, I asked Tyler to ask him, you know, if he would be able to take him, you know, these days. And like I said, I could do it, but I really thought, you know, they had a close relationship. So I thought it was like, at least they had that normalcy still, like that time in the car. What they do with that, I can't, you know, I don't know. But I don't feel hatred. I feel sad. I feel a lot of remorse for, like, what could have been. I feel sorrow. Like, again, like I said, you know, we're a couple weeks away from Thanksgiving, and no matter what he's done, like, have a girlfriend, said terrible things to me, I can't. Like, I want to be in their moments. Like I said, I can pop off and you know, say something, but at the end of the day, there's just, I have to be able to go to sleep at night with myself. And the best way for me to do that, to honor who I am and to be in alignment with who I am, is to not fight. Like, I don't want to fight with him. I just want peace. And I just want to be happy. And I want him to be happy. And I want our kids to know, like, that they're loved. Because no matter how much it's affecting me, no matter how much it's affecting him, there's probably nobody else more that it's affecting than the kids themselves, right? This is nothing that was in their control, nothing they could have done anything different or showed up differently. Sorry for the nose blows. But this is my story, and I don't have the heart to hate. Like, I don't have the heart to not be his friend. Like, I just want to be friends. Like, And that's what I've always wanted. And, you know, with the hopes that it could be something more at some point. And maybe we're past the point where it would ever be something more. And maybe we're not. I honestly don't know. But what I do know is it's terribly sad. And you know, in some other alternate universe or something, maybe there would have been a different outcome. And maybe, like, you know, he sent me a message today and was like, I'm sorry that, you know, I'm sorry that I moved out, and I'm sorry that I didn't hear you, or something to that effect, that what you needed was a friend. And I appreciated the message, because it just, like, I felt heard. And then again, it's like, it's confusing to me, because it always felt, from my point of view, like I was his enemy for some reason. And I didn't do anything wrong. Like, I can understand if I did something wrong, you know, to be like your enemy. If I said something, if I did things, if I didn't help you, I understand why I would be your enemy. And I didn't do those things, so I don't understand why I was treated like that. Why, like, I was the subject of so many bad conversations. And then when he would be nice, like, it was a whole different person. And suddenly my heart would melt. And I was like, wow, this is the person, like, that I've always wanted to be with, is somebody that would just treat me kind. I don't have lavish things, like, and what I've learned in this life is a lot of those things, they don't really matter. I mean, of course I want a roof over my head, and I'd love to travel. You know, like, I'd love nice things, but they're not the end all be all. But what is the end all be all is to be treated with, like, human decency and kindness. And if I do something, then I understand being mistreated. Like, I understand being punished, right? Like, I'm a kid and I did something wrong and then punish me. But I don't want to be punished when I didn't do anything wrong. And I didn't feel it was fair to be punished, because I needed a friend. I needed somebody who was caring about what my day was like, and somebody to have fun with, and somebody to laugh with, and somebody to, you know, like, in a time like this, like, be somebody I can lean on, and when they were in a feeling like this, that they could lean on me. Like, that's what a friend is. To me, that was my definition. And so it's really sad, and I'm really confused. And I also know that, you know, it's been a week, and that means I am 7 days stronger, and I am 7 days wiser, and I'm doing things that I didn't think I could do, and I didn't necessarily want to do. And I'm surviving. And I've been in pain. I've gone to, like, a hip doctor, I've gone to a back doctor, and again, part of me believes, especially with this hip region, like, all this strife that's going on in my life, I'm holding on to it in my body, and it's, like, creating physical pain. It's my belief, you know, I don't know if you believe it or not, or you think I'm cuckoo for this, but in this journey, in this process of rediscovering who I am and demonstrating self-love to myself and self-care, I have quickly realized that there is this process for me that I hold on to, like these griefs, and I just don't know how to release them. And I do feel like that's part of, like I think here's the deal. I'm gonna be honest. So you guys probably all know this because I come on here and tell you. So I overdid it. And instead of being hurt and taking a break, my stubborn butt wanted to go and have fun and dance like I was a 20-year-old girl, and then run like I was a 20-year-old girl. And that was in full health. But I wasn't. And I was in pain. And instead of listening to my body and really stopping, I pushed myself because I was fearful, right? I was fearful I wouldn't pick it up again. I was fearful that when I did pick it up, it was going to hurt. I was fearful that perhaps I would not have this piece of me that I feel alive this time, that I can do these things, and I'm brought to like immense levels of joy. And so for like the last week, I've been going to the classes, week and a half probably, and not all of them. I've throttled them back. I'm not even looking at my watch to see what my steps are. And I'm really trying to heal, like mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. And my body needed a break. And even when I was going to the classes, I felt like a shell of a person in there. And I didn't understand because like just the pain was so immense. It became the main focal point. And so today I had this realization, because again, yesterday I was in pain, but then it would come in and out. And so today I was like, listen, I had this big debate to myself. Do I go? Do I not go? And I was like, if I have to go and just stand there the whole time and hoot and holler and do what I can with my arms, that's okay. But I really need that energy back in my life. And I double braced up. I took medication before the class. Like, I should not be taking medications before classes, but I did. And then I really made this commitment to myself to listen to my body and go super slow. Like, there was no ego. There was no comparing me to anyone else. It was just do what I can and keep it where it doesn't hurt. And I got through both classes without having any. Okay, I had pain, but it wasn't like the excruciating, like 12 out of 10 pain I have been having. And I was able to have fun again. I was able to be me again. And I felt like I was back. And I guess I was listening to this one song. I had my headphones on, and my cute little friend Costco Claudia, go check her out. She's the best. But she, I had my headphones on, I'm vibing. And this song is talking about how, like it's somebody who can't breathe. Like there's somebody, like something, like the thing is like, and they're slowly coming back to life. And it just connects with me right now because I, have felt in this last week and a half, 2 weeks, like so many moments where I felt like I couldn't breathe. And to go from like this extreme of being on vacation, not worrying about stuff, except for when the kids or Chris would text me, but like to this, like it was just like and it was so fast and furious, and just like, it was almost like a nightmare I didn't expect to wake up from. And it was like each day there was something new. As a girlfriend is moving out, my son's moving, no, he's not moving. Like it was just so like much. My body could not handle it. And it was already having its own experiences about like just so many different things that like this, and in pain. So like, yeah, anyways. But I guess when I was listening to the headphones, walking into the gym, I was rocking. I was like dancing as I was walking, and my little Costco Claudia friend, go check her out. Like I said, she, little cutie, was like, oh my gosh, like I was going to honk at you. Like I was going to tape you. I was like, look at her go. She's over here just living her best life. Like, and so I was laughing so hard that I got totally busted, but I just needed it. I just needed to release. And again, that saying, us humans, we don't want to change, and change in the beginning, it's really hard, it's messy in the middle, but it's glorious in the end. And so I'm in that hard and messy stage, and I don't know what's gonna happen, right? Like I don't know what's behind the door, But what I do know is I'm making progress. And what I do know is my kids are here and they're safe. And I do know that for the first time in a really long time, Chris and I are talking civilly to each other. Where last week it was not very civil. But this week it has been, like these last few days, has been a very civil conversation. And it's been raw and it's been pleasant. Like, I feel like, and I think that's probably one of the struggles, right? It's like, where was this friend all along? Like, you're capable. Why did it take to this? And again, like I say, it's a process, right? Like, with somebody for a quarter of a century, like I have been with Chris and been a married woman for more than half of my life. I got married when I was 22. I'm 48. Like, all I really know as an adult is being Chris's wife and the mom to these kids. And now I'm finally realizing who I am, but I was quite a different person for most of this thing. And it's just a weird time of life. And I don't know. Like, I just don't know. And so I think it's a very confusing. So if you feel confused out there, or you've been through this and you felt confused, then maybe I'm just on the right track. But I think the most important thing that I'm taking away from this is to really honor where you are, to really embrace what you're feeling. And it's hard and it sucks. And I don't want to sit here and cry. I don't want to sit here and cry to you guys. I want to like inspire and be like, hey, you know, I'm going through a divorce. I am so freaking happy and it's so good. But no, like sometimes, you know, we can positive Pollyanna through some things, but other things we kind of got to walk through that fog, right? Like, it's kind of foggy. It's kind of dark and it's pretty scary. But I do hold faith that no matter what happens, I don't know what the future holds. I don't know what that looks like. But I do have this sense and I do have this feeling that there is a huge lesson in this. And already I'm learning so much about myself that I can do hard things and that I can just give myself the permission to take a break. I can give myself permission to stop, and I can give myself permission to have fun. And I don't need to compare myself to an older or different version of me. I just have to meet myself where I am today. And so taking off those pressures and just coming to this realization also oddly like took some of the pressure off my back, if that even makes sense. But it did. I was able to move, even though I was braced up. I had, you know, a double brace around my waist. That it's not very flattering because like it pushes things and it makes you have a muffin top. And I'm like, whatever. I don't really care as long as I'm moving. It doesn't matter what the frick I look like. I just need this for my body and soul right now. So I think that, you know, there's times, and it's a holiday and holiday season, and there's Christmas music, and that sometimes is a little on the sad side and the romantic side, and you know, today I'm listening to my song that like fires me up, but then it starts playing other songs after, and it started playing this song about home and about how we built this home together, and we planted a seed that's now a tree, and it's almost as old as me, and it just got me thinking, and it, you know, and it was like we built this together and then it disappeared, and that's kind of where we're at. Like, everything we had built together has disappeared. You know, he has taken on an initiative he did not take on within this marriage, and he has removed himself from the cable and the PG&E and the phones and the this and the that and the Amazon and all these things, and I'm like, whoa, I'm still spinning. I haven't even made a phone call. Like, but he was actually also very nice. I was like, listen, can you handle the Comcast? I don't need to be paying $400 a month almost for cable channels. I don't even watch TV like you watched the TV. So he did something nice. He did an act of kindness. He didn't have to, but he got my bill dropped to like $100 and something, maybe 198. I don't know, whatever. It wasn't my 400. It was in the 100s. I was like, fair enough. I'll take that. And that gets our internet and our cable like done, but that was very sweet, and I appreciate like the kindness, because I'm like, I just can't. And I was actually even asked him, because I'm like, I don't know who else to ask. I try to ask. I'm getting some injection in my back next week, because they're like, listen, you've been in this pain too long, like we keep suggesting it and you keep ignoring it, but so I'm gonna do that. And, I was like, can I take an Uber home? And they were like, no. And I was like, why not? And they're like, because we need to make sure that somebody is there to watch you after sedation. I'm like, so I was like, can you give me a ride there? I could maybe ask one of my friends, but like, I don't like to ask people that kind of stuff. And so graciously, he said yes. So I appreciate that. So like I said, and I'm like, hey, listen, you don't have to go off the Amazon yet. It's expensive. Just, whatever, get it delivered to your house and pay for it, whatever. It's like some things, it's just really not that big of a deal to like, listen, it's just not that big of a deal. It is to him. He's on a track to do it, so good on him. But for me, I'm like, listen, on the scheme of my totem pole, you was so low. I don't really care. But yeah, so I say all that to say, it's tough. So separations, deaths, moving, all these things are really, really challenging. And for me, what I'm going through right now is an impending divorce, and it has so many factors, right? It's not just me. I have my kids. They are my priority. There's Chris in a weird way that I'm still worrying about. And like for even a minute, I was like, do we reconcile? Like what, what's going on? And then another part of me is like, maybe the distance is exactly what we need to have that kind of clarity and that understanding. And maybe it is, we need to both move on from each other. I don't know what it is, but it's really confusing from my point of view. And I'm just really happy that my kids seem to be handling things pretty well. I mean, it's pretty much status quo for them, like nothing much has changed. But for me, it's definitely a somber season, but yet there are sprinkles of delight. So like today, I finally felt like me again, and I was able to smile and participate in the class without like hunching over in pain. So like, woohoo, that is like a huge win. I'll go again tomorrow. I'll probably take Friday off. Saturday, there is no games. Sunday, there is no games. So I really want to use these next few days to just decompress, to allow myself this last week to really kind of mourn, because me, I love to put some deadlines on myself, to mourn and to continue to work my way to figure out how the frick I'm gonna do all this on my own, and how am I gonna survive. But I did make my garbage can bill half the price too, because I switched to the lower garbage can. So I mean, there's a lot of fat we could have been trimming all along, and I don't know why we didn't. You just get comfortable, and I think that's the beauty of change. Is it's scary, you don't always like it, but it also makes you see the world a little bit different, and I'm seeing the world a lot of bit different, and I am really excited to have this place where I'm allowed to be myself, and I don't feel this feeling like, somebody's going to come in and attack me. And then he also doesn't come in and feel like somebody's going to attack him, whatever he felt, like whatever dread he felt before he came in this house. Like, so I'm excited to see where things go for both of us individually. And again, this was the first time that he had indicated in there, like, he was willing to be friends. And if anything else, if we could be friends, like, how cool is that? Like, for our kids, honestly, how cool is that? Like, if he needs a ride to a doctor's appointment, I'll take you. I was like, he's like, I don't have a car to get my whatever. I'm like, you could take mine, just refill the gas. Like, you know, like I'm not here to be your enemy. I never wanted to be, and I'm not going to start now. And yes, I could get a little sassy on times, right? Like it's a roller coaster. But overall, I really do hold fast in my heart that he is a good person. I'm a good person. We just failed to figure out how to be good people together for whatever reason. But we do have 4 amazing kids, and we have 25 crazy years together. And I will always be very appreciative for that time and grateful for the opportunity that he gave me to be a mom to my kids. And so with that, I will end. And I thank you so much for listening in on a, you know, crybaby girl, chat today. So, but if you can still go out there today and give somebody a big smile and give them a compliment and just sit back and watch how they glow up, it really is magical. And you will be spreading a part of that joy and those ripples into this world that make this place a brighter place. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I love you. I adore you. Thank you so much. Bye.